Hello everyone, my name is Adarsh Pradeep and I am here as a part of my coursework Business Analytics and Intelligence, and my topic is Home Healthcare Provider Sector in the UK. Executive Summary. Purpose. This report aims to examine the UK home healthcare providers to understand trends and make recommendations for future growth of the sector. Data gathering. The financial data of 10 home healthcare are companies which is gathered from FAME. Method. Business analytics through the use of descriptive, correlation and regression analysis to analyze trends in the sector. Data processing. The data processing are made using SPSS and Microsoft Excel. The result it will be discussed in the end of the video. Next one is about literature review. How business analytics can help companies in decision making. In the current digital economy, successful companies will be those who have developed the capability of big data driven decision making. In a recent study, Shaman et al. Identified management practices and big data capability as key factors to ensure better performance of data driven decision making in organization. Supply chain management heavily relies on the use of well analyzed data, simply because data driven decisions lead to better result in complex business environment. The availability of data with enormous volume, velocity and variety has resulted in a big data revolution that has the potential to lead improved firms' decision making performance with associated competitive advantages. To the end, the data analysis is being increasingly leveraged by many firms to deal with the massive amount of data they have collected and fulfill their growing needs for better and faster decisions. In the healthcare industry, clinical trials are enhanced by data analysis, especially of claims and electronic health records that provide proof of the efficiency and safety of the medical items. Recognized by the regulatory initiatives, these studies assist timely, evidence-based regulatory decisions and improve patient care insights by facilitating secondary indications and accelerated drug approvals. Data collection. The financial data for the 10 healthcare providers were collected from FAME. In order to identify the healthcare providers, I use the site carehome.co.uk, and these are the 10 companies that I have used. They are Carrier Care in Ontario, Cotter Water Care, Excel Care, Manchester Healthcare, Maria Melbourne Care, Age Care, HC1 Limited, Care UK, Prime Life. So the variables that are used for this analysis are turnover, profit or loss before taxation, net tangible assets, shareholders fund, return of capital employed, liquidity ratio are my dependent variables, and my independent variable that I have chosen here is number of employees. And this analysis is for the time period of 10 years, that is from 2013 to 2022. So this is the clean data that I have collected for my data analysis. It is only a screenshot of my clean data, and the whole data will be attached to this file. Regarding dashboard. So dashboard is an interface that integrates the data from a variety of sources and provides a unified display of relevant contextual information. The above analysis shows the variation of variables between the 10 years using charts. Okay, first of all, in terms of shareholders fund, the highest was in 2022. It was around 400 million. The lowest one was recorded in 2019. The increase in shareholders fund in 2022. For liquidity ratio in 2017, it reached the all-time high value of almost 75. The lowest value appeared on multiple years like 2013, 14 and 20. For return of capital employed, the highest value was on 2019 and the lowest value replicated on 2013 and 20 as well. In the case of number of employees after 2016, the value hovered around 45,000 and 50,000, but the highest value was reported in 2014, that is more than 60,000. The profit or loss before taxation reached a positive number only on 2020. It is the highest value, and the lowest value was recorded in 2015. The turnover remained almost similar. The highest value was recorded in 2022. The lowest value was in 2019. It is likely due to the effect of COVID-19, and the following years it is increased and reached the highest value in 2022. In this slide, we are going to discuss descriptive analysis. Industry analysis. Turnover has the highest mean and median, indicating it generally has the largest value on average and has consistent values near the central tendency. Shareholders fund has the highest range, which shows maximum and minimum values in this category and has highest skewness in magnitude. Turnover has highest standard deviation, indicating greater variability and spread of values around the mean. Profit or loss before taxation has the highest kurtosis. Industry analysis before COVID, turnover has the highest mean, median and mode. It indicates turnover was the largest value on average. This suggests revenue generation was robust in the pre-COVID period. High median shows its consistency as a central metric. Profit or loss before taxation has a highly negative skew, suggesting that many companies were operating close to or below profitability. Third one is after industry analysis after COVID. The turnover has the highest mean and median. This indicates turnover was the highest on average, which seems to reflecting an increase in demand for home healthcare services in the post-COVID-19 period. Median suggests that revenue figures are consistently high due to increased service demand. Shareholders' fund has the highest range, which indicates the equity of funding varied significantly, possibly due to companies to secure investment in the post-COVID era. Correlation analysis. Here I use the correlation analysis using Excel. So first of all, the number of employees and turnover are positively correlated, and it has the highest correlation in the analysis. So I have used the color green to highlight that one. So I will discuss more about that. So to exemplify that one, when the number of employees increases, the turnover increases as well. That is what I mean by positive correlation. At the same time, profit or loss before taxation and liquidity ratio has the least correlation, and I have used the color red to highlight that one. So moreover, profit or loss before taxation and number of employees have a negative correlation, which means when the profit or loss before taxation increases, the number of employees also decreases. That is what I mean by negative correlation. I have used a scatter plot here to explain that one. In figure 4.3, it explains a positive correlation between turnover and number of employees. Figure 4.2 which reflects the negative correlation between profit or loss before taxation and number of employees. So correlation analysis using SPSS. So in this case I have used SPSS for the same thing. That is, the correlation analysis using SPSS will be the same as correlation analysis using the Excel. So the advantage of SPSS is that it shows the p-value. Like in the previous slide, the turnover and number of employees are highly correlated. Here we can see that the p-value is given there. So the p-value for number of employees and the turnover is less than 0.01, which means it is a high. The variables are significantly correlated because 0.01 is less than 0.05. In the case of profit or loss before taxation, the liquidity ratio, the p-value is 0.885, which is greater than 0.05, which means these variables are not significantly correlated. Then we are going to regression. First one is about simple regression. So in simple regression, there is only one independent variable, that is the number of employees, and only one dependent variable, that is turnover. A mathematical equation is used here, that is y is equal to 34374.94 into minus 5406894. So here y is the turnover and x is the number of employees. So that is, if the number of employees then if there is no number of employees, then the turnover y becomes minus 5 million GBP, which means like there will be a reduction of 5 million in the turnover, more than 5 million in the turnover. This is called the intercept, which means by increasing one number of employee in our home healthcare organization, this will lead to increase of turnover by 34374.94 GBP. So in addition, here the R square is 0.93, that is 93% of the turnover can be explained by the number of employees. In this case, the p-value here, in this case of the p-value, here the p-value is extremely small, that is 1.73808 exponential raised to minus 58, which is less than 0.05, so it is significant. So therefore we can conclude that the number of employees is significant in this case. Then we are going to explain about multiple regression. In this multiple regression, we have one dependent variable, that is turnover, and we have 6 independent variables, that is profit or loss before taxation, net tangible asset, shareholders fund, return on capital employed, liquidity ratio, and number of employees. So the regression equation is given here, and so we can consider like the interpretation of intercept is that if the profit or loss before taxation, net tangible assets, and all these other variables, then they are become 0, then how much will be the turnover? So by applying this above mentioned condition in the regression equation, what will happen? The whole home healthcare sector will achieve a decrease of 129,127,20.99 GBP in terms of turnover. So in this case of number of employees, if the number of employees is increased by 1, it can result to increase of turnover by 296412 GBP. For shareholders fund, if it is increased by 1 unit, it will result in the decrease of turnover by 0.0005. Here R square is 0.94, which means 94% of turnover can be explained by this model, which indicates that selected independent variables are satisfactory. Net tangible assets and number of employees are significant factors in this regression analysis because the p-value or sig value for net tangible assets is really small, and for number of employees the p-value also nearly 4, which is negligible. So both these values are less than 0.05. Therefore the net tangible asset and number of employees are significant factors or variables in the regression analysis, while the other 4 variables the p-value is greater than 0.05, so they are not significant. Conclusion: turnover stays almost consistent throughout the period of 10 years. Even though the value slightly decreases in the COVID, it shows a pattern of continuous growth through the post-COVID-19. In addition, turnover has a positive correlation with the number of employees. This regression analysis indicates the net tangible assets and the number of employees are the most significant variables. This change in these variables can create a considerable impact of the turnover in the long run. So this is my reference. Thank you.